Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
That's Matt.
Hello, YouTube.
That's Oscari. We literally just got done recording the part 3, and I was like, let's just do the handheld stuff because there's
Wait,
not
hang
very
on a minute.
many.
You're lying. The other day you said that you weren't going to include Switch in the handheld. So...
Well, and so what just happened was I went and grabbed all my handheld games, looked at them, and I'm like, this is going to take like 5 minutes. So let's just add the Switch stuff so I can hand wave, and now it's going to take 8 minutes because I have like 8 Switch games. So we're going to cover, I don't have a lot of handheld stuff. We're going to cover PSP, Nintendo DS, 3DS, and Switch. And there's a tiny little corner here that's got all the games. So I did used to play a lot of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, but again, the stuff about my older brother, like that, all that applies. Like, he probably sold them all at some point, and there went my collection of games. So anyway, all of these have been collected over the past like 5 or 6 years. Are we ready? We excited?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. This is a game I got as a random game. I want to say I went to like a Black Friday thing at my game place, and they asked me, you like told them a console, and they gave you like a goodie bag that had like, or like a grab bag, I don't know what the phrase for it is, that had like just various things for that console. And I was like, surely if I say PSP, they're going to give me something cool. And they gave me like a PlayStation magazine and some like bookmark that was like a PSP bookmark. And then they also gave me this game, which I am not going to try to get a case for. This is Coded Arms, which is like a first-person shooter on the PSP.
First-person shooters on PSP are terrible.
Yeah,
apart from King Kong.
I put it in and
King Kong's actually
I put it in and played it for about 5 minutes, and I was like, this is not for me. So that's where we are on Coded Arms. Maybe it's fun, I don't know. But I'm already not a huge fan of first-person shooters. Like, it's got to be a really good FPS game for me to play it, and this one's not a very good FPS game. So this game, however, is good. It's one of the last games I've done like a full speedrun for because I haven't done a ton of speedrunning lately. The PSP version of Final Fantasy. This game has a ton of speed tech in it, which is really cool. Where you can do some like menu manipulation to get end-game items at the very beginning of the game. And you can beat this game in like a little over an hour. And on like NES or other versions, it takes like maybe upwards of like 3 hours to beat this game. But it's got some cool for RPG. As far as RPGs go, this game has 6 speed tech, and it has a good like randomizer scene. It's got a good like tournament scene. Like, obviously, I'm going to talk about speedrunning a bunch. Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy, is really good when it comes to speedrunning. Fun game. Love it. I have it as number...
Is it a fun game?
It is a fun game. I have it as number... Let me tell you just how fun I think it is. I have it at number 122. Big fan. Oh, I forgot about this. These are not the same game, I promise. I have 2 copies of Metal Gear Acid, or so it appears. I forget through what website, through some online game store, I ordered Metal Gear Acid. I think I ordered the original Metal Gear Acid. And they sent me... Let me look at the side, because now I'm confusing myself. Oh! Now I'm really confused. Anyway. They sent me inside a Metal Gear Acid case, Metal Gear Acid 2. So the 2 is kind of hard to see, but it's like you can't rotate the disc either very easily, but it's like superscript above the D. That's a 2. So I had that, and I'm like, well, crap, that sucks, kind of. I think 2 is more expensive, but whatever.
This is literally the same story as my Infamous debacle when I bought Infamous 1, but they gave me the disc for 2, and I just rebought 1 again to save.
Yeah. So then I went to my game store, and I wanted to get the original Metal Gear Acid, because I was trying to complete my Metal Gear collection, which I'm still missing some games on that. I went and at my game store, as you can see, I've got my mature 17 plus down in the corner, ESRB. At my game store, I saw a cheap copy of Metal Gear Acid that I bought. Peggy 16. This is the Italian version, I believe, of Metal Gear Acid, which I was promised could be played. I mean, I don't think the PSP's region locked, and there's
It is, isn't it? I thought it was.
I thought it wasn't. I hope it isn't.
I'm gonna check.
It's not. You can't play it in English. Okay, this is definitely not.
Oh yeah, they are. Oh, the PSP is not regional. Okay, I thought it was.
Definitely Italian, I believe. This looks like some Super Mario Sunshine language going on here. Why are you playing in Spanish? It's not Spanish. It's Italian.
I have the Crash cart game, the second one, like the double dash of Crash games. I have that on PSP, and I bought it in Spain on a holiday,
You also see
and you can't change the language. So
And
I
then-
played that game in Spanish.
and the backs look a little different. So this is a like grid-based like strategy RPG. I guess you could call it a strategy. I don't know if you'd call it an RPG. You build a deck of actions and like items, and then you use that deck to do actions each turn to like complete your mission. That's how the Metal Gear Acid games work. But
So you didn't like strategy games?
this doesn't matter because it's Metal Gear. I'm gonna buy everything that's Metal Gear.
Even Twin Snakes?
There's a hell yeah, Twin Snakes. Wait, we covered Twin. I showed off Twin Snakes, didn't I?
No.
When I did GameCube games, we didn't.
No.
Where's my copy of Twin Snakes? Oh shit. Yeah, that's.
What, am I misremembering?
Hold on,
I'm pretty
hold
sure
on.
you didn't.
I don't recall.
don't-
I don't. Hold
I don't
up.
remember.
Hold up. I think we may
I
have
don't
missed
think
some
we
more
saw it.
games.
I was wondering. I didn't even know we had Twin Snakes.
Yeah, object permanence is not the strongest suit.
That's like me forgetting
He's
Black
got-
too.
Yeah, he's gonna bring up like 500 games.
A
like,
whole box of games.
yeah.
Look, it wouldn't be a Twan game collection video if it didn't include games that I missed from previous collection videos.
Ah, traditions.
So I forgot about Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, which freaked me out because this game is very pricey now, very valuable. Boop boop, got both of them. This is a game I have done speedruns of. I did it at Remython Kiwami. I did a run of Metal Gear Solid: Twin Snakes. And then I also have NCAA Football 12. Are you going to ask me who this is? This is a literal Alabama football player. I dare you to ask me who this is, as if I don't know who
Who is
this is.
this?
This is Mark Ingram.
I'm
Running
not
back.
asking because you don't know who it is. I'm asking
I'm
because I
offended
want
that
to know
you would
who
think
it
I
is.
don't know who that is.
I did not think that.
This was the one that everyone in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the University of Alabama is, had to buy. This was a very hard game to get when it came out in 2011. Because everyone had to have it, because finally they put an Alabama football player on the cover. Anyway, that's not a handheld game. We covered those. Whatever. I love NCAA Football 12, by the way, but I did not put, like, sim sports games on my top games list, because I just kind of I treat them separately, so... Which is maybe a controversial thing, but whatever. Poops. Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. Again, we talked about that in the last stream. I have not played this. I don't even really know much about what Portable Ops is.
You're streaming?
Last video.
Last video. I don't do just YouTube stuff usually. Poops. Poops has some cool art. I don't know. I don't know much about Poops. Isn't this like mostly like, doesn't it like I thought there was like a multiplayer component to this. Maybe there's not.
I thought that was Peace Walker.
Maybe it
Because
is.
you got the
Yeah, it does.
the bases.
It does have like the
Or the
mission
rigs.
stuff where you can do it multiplayer. I just don't know much about Portable Ops. Clearly.
Oh no, and Portable Ops also got co-op as well. To a degree. Not Portable Ops. I forgot the name. Peace Walker.
This game, I don't know why I bought this game. I tried to play it, and then I tried to like speedrun it and route it before I even came close to finishing it. And all of this was a disaster. This game looks like a game that should be easy just based on what the game looks like, how it presents, but this game is extremely difficult. And I don't know that a single human being's beaten this game. I'm going to go out. Tell me in the comments if you've played and beaten Neopet's Pet Pet Adventures The Wand of Wishing. Because
What even is that?
this is a top-down, I think, yeah, I'd call it top-down. A top-down action RPG. And you get to pick, like, you either get to be like a dog, a fox, or something, I don't remember. And it's like a really cute sort of game or whatever, but this game is hard. I made it through the first dungeon after, like, save scumming over and over and over and over. And it's just way too hard. This game is just... I wanted to like this game so much, but it's very hard. Maybe I just don't know how to play video games, but... Neopets. Thankfully, I only paid $5 for it, so... I got my $5. I don't want to end on this game, so we'll move this one to the bottom. This would be sad. This game. The Third Birthday.
Oh, I know what that is.
So this is the third Parasite Eve game. Wow, this game is a video game. Each Parasite Eve game is like a little different from one another. The first one's like more like an actual like RPG. The second one is very similar to like it definitely leans more into like survival horror stuff. It becomes like a tank control Resident Evil like game. And then the Third Birthday is like a third person action shooter, and for some reason they decided to make Aya Bray like weirdly sexy or something. Like, look at all of her clothes coming off.
She gets some new jeans.
Yeah, and they have a lot of like fan service like outfits you can wear. This is something that made my like brain leave my body and my soul leave my brain and my body. is that one character's outfit that you can wear is Aya Bray in the PSP version, which there's only a PSP version, but in the Third Birthday is Lightning from Final Fantasy 13. And my brain is like, there's no way Final Fantasy 13 came out before the Third Birthday. And it made me realize how much I don't know about the timeline of the PSP and, when games were released for the PSP, because this game came out in 2010 and 11, and Final Fantasy 13 came out in 2010, so it does, in fact, make sense that, I don't know. In my brain, the PSP, its life ended way before we got deep into the 360 and PS3 life cycle, but that's not how that works. Anyway, I played this for maybe like 3 or 4 hours, and I didn't love it that much, so I kind of gave up on it. I only really like the first Parasite Eve. And now, the one game that I have on my list that's on PSP... or it's on my... Sorry, what did I just say? I realized what I was going to say is inaccurate anyway, because I have Final Fantasy on here. This is another game I have on my list, is Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, which the remake is coming out very soon, in like 2 weeks. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, I think is the name of the Crisis Core one. And Rebirth is the second part of the remake of the original series. This is an action RPG. It's a prequel to Final Fantasy VII, where you follow, not Cloud, but Zack. And if you know the story of FF7, you know who Zack is. If not, that's way too much talking that I'm not going to do right now.
It's got a weird combat system.
Yeah, it does have a very weird combat system. It's got the great... what's the artist's name? Like, this is Nomura character design. I don't know who does the artwork, but these are all...
This is Kingdom Hearts art.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts art. This game looks very Kingdom Heartsy.
Because it came out pretty much like during the heyday.
But this game is pretty sick. I like it. It's a very sad game. Get ready to be sad if you are the kind of person that gets sad when you play video games. And if you played FF7, you know why it makes you sad. I have Crisis Core pretty high up, I'm pretty sure. Where is it? I have it as my number... Thought I just saw it. Where you at, Crisis Core? I have it as my 51st favorite game. Because it's pretty high up there. So 2 games in my top list of PSP games. Well, like I said, I don't have too many of them. These are all the ones I have. So that's it for PSP. You alright, buddy? Remy just came over and laid down right next to me. Something scare you? Alright. DS games. I do not have many DS games at all. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 DS games.
Mhm.
And I've played through just 2 of them. Actually, I didn't finish this one, and it's also on my list. I told you we were going to go over the list and the games that I don't have, that I didn't finish that are on my list. That game is a strategy RPG. Advance Wars Dual Strike. I think this is a pretty good game. But
I like the art.
the art style's good, the music in Advance Wars is good. The reboot was supposed to come out this year, but it was literally going to come out like shortly before the whole invasion of Ukraine. So they were like, hey, let's not release this game. We don't know when we're going to release it now because we think it's maybe in bad taste to release this now. So who knows when. That's kind of in limbo right now. But Dual Strike's pretty sick. They do a good job using the touchscreen. DS Dual Strike. That's where the, good wordplay or whatever.
That's small.
Oh! I have Dual Strike as my 90th favorite game of all time. Dual Strikes are also made by Intelligent Systems, who makes the Paper Mario games. So I'm a big fan of Intelligent Systems games. And are they Fire Emblem as well? They might be. I'm blanking. Yeah, they are Fire Emblem as well. So I like Intelligent Systems strategy RPGs. This is a game I bounced off of pretty quickly, but I don't think it's because it was bad. I just wasn't in the mood to play it. This is the 3D version of Final Fantasy III, not Final Fantasy VI. This is the actual Final Fantasy III. Because in the US, or I don't know where else, but I know in the US, Final Fantasy III was originally what is actually Final Fantasy VI because they skipped games. And that's can be confusing. But this is the actual FF3. But yeah, this is probably one of the FF games I know the very least about. And it was just kind of had a droll or whatever, like high fantasy start to the game, and I was just like, I'm not in the mood to play this right now, so I put it in.
Doesn't this one have a job system? Or is that 5?
5 has a very robust job system, if I recall correctly. Tell me in the comments if I'm bullshitting you. It says use any combination of 23 available jobs to lead the 4 warriors of light in a journey to restore the world's balance. All the early FF games have that same, like, the world's about to be thrown into ruin. Go get some crystals. You can be a bard. Like, that's the game. That's like the first 5 games, and then 6 really kind of takes some, has a much more unique story, I feel like. I think 4 kind of does too, but I don't know too much about 4. I figure out what Remy's up to. This game I really like, which I was surprised that I really like this game, because this game has almost all touch controls, and I am known as someone that does not care much for games that have like a unique sort of control. That's why I'm not a huge fan of Wii games for the most part. And I thought I would not like The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass because you use the stylus for almost everything you do in the game. But it was executed pretty well. And it's also a sequel to, you could kind of call it a sequel to Wind Waker. It's got kind of the same Wind Waker art style, even just with the hourglass and everything. And I really like Wind Waker, so big fan of Phantom Hourglass. Pretty valuable right now. Where do I have it? I think I have it kind of low on the list, but it is on the list. It is my number 100 game. This is you have to beat this game to be a top 100 game in my list. This is the bar. The bar to be on the list, period, is Uncharted 2. The bar to be top 100 is Phantom Hourglass.
This is just an outrage, honestly.
Well, where would you put UC2? Is it number 1? The number
No.
1? Oh, okay.
Blade is number 1.
Oh, Blade 2, that's true.
Obviously.
Video. Every time Greg says video games in this song, it messes me up. Y'all can't hear it, but every time I'm like about to make a new thought and say a word, and then I hear video games. I'm like, shut up. This game I just recently bought, Metroid Prime Hunters. This is a DS. I guess you could call it like it actually plays like Metroid Prime, but it's a DS game. It has that same like first-person shooter sort of deal going on with it. I don't know much to say about it, but I'm playing through the Metroid games, as I've said before. So I want to play through all the Prime games to kind of prime myself for Prime 4 when Prime 4 comes out, whenever it comes out. I'm sure I've got enough time. But I've heard this is good. Good gaming. Alright, that's it. That's it for the DS games. I don't think I have anything else on here that would be a DS game, because I don't think I've played too many digital DS games. No. Alright, 3DS. I don't have too many more 3DS games. I have 6 physical 3DS games. We'll put this one at the bottom. This one I started, didn't get too much into. This is the same issue as the Zillia games I was talking about earlier, where I start a game and then I go right into the next one, and then I realize I'm not that committed. So then I back out and mess myself up. This is a Majora's Mask 3D. So I went into this right after beating Ocarina of Time 3D on 3DS, and I just kind of, got tired and didn't play it. But I would probably like it if I played it, because this is like the bizarre Zelda game on the N64 compared to Ocarina of Time. It's got kind of a unique time-changing mechanic where there's the moon crashing into the village deal, and you have to like do a bunch of stuff and rewind time over and over to solve the little puzzle of how to not have the world end. I don't know. Majora's Mask. I probably should have started with this because we're just talking about it. But Ocarina of Time 3D, this is the version that I played. This game holds your hand a little bit more than the original Ocarina of Time, specifically with the Water Temple, which that's like the thing, is that the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time is a giant headache on the N64. There's like some color-coded stuff going on in the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time that makes it a little bit easier to get through. So I probably have a better opinion of Ocarina of Time than I would have had I played the N64 version, because apparently the Water Temple sucks. But big fan of Ocarina of Time.
I think my save that I've gotten furthest in OOT is in the Water Temple.
That's
yeah.
That's probably one of many, I would guess. What do I have? I have Ocarina of Time as number 72 on my list. Just to give you an idea. Right behind Yakuza Kiwami. And right ahead of Control. I like Control. Good game. This game, I don't know when I'm ever going to get to this game. I wish you had this game, Oscari, because I feel like you'd play it, given what kind of kick you're on right now. And that's Persona Q2. New Cinema Labyrinth. So this is the sequel to Persona Q. I forget what the subtitle is for Persona Q. I don't have Q. But this combines like the characters from Persona 3, 4, and 5 into like a unique story. You can see the characters from 3 here. That's the main character for 3. There's the player character for 4, and there's obviously Joker from 5. And I think the Q only has 3 and 4 in it. I don't know much at all about this. The ultimate Persona experience awaits. That's all I know. So if you want to experience the ultimate Persona experience, you gotta play this game.
Well, I've tried every other version of Persona 5.
You haven't done this dancing game.
Oh, that's true. I need to get on that.
Got your ass. But yeah, I don't know anything about that. The Q games are both really expensive now, so I'm probably not gonna get Persona Q. There's a few 3DS games I regret not getting before the 3DS got axed or whatever. That and Project Cross Zone, specifically the second one that's got Majima and Kiryu in it. Which it's funny that I want to get that game, because you know what kind of game that is. It's a strategy RPG, and I don't really like most of those. Hey, speaking of which, Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. I'm a big fan of this game. This is the game that got me into the Fire Emblem series. Which is funny, because this game gets some flack because it has a weird mechanic where like you can date and marry one of the characters in the story depending on whether you're the male or female character, and there's like a weird intimate scene in your hut or whatever where you can like blow on the microphone and then their hair will like it's very weird. But there are 3 different unique Fire Emblem Fates games. I have Birthright, which I think is considered to be the easy one out of the 3. There's Fire, and you're like the quote-unquote good guys when you do Birthright. And then Conquest is like the harder one where you're like, you decide to join the bad guys instead of the good guys. And then there's one called like It's like a middle of the road one that came out later. I want to say it's called like Revelation or something. I can't remember. But I've played through all of Birthright, and I played a little bit of Conquest. I think I have Fates on here. I might not, though. Maybe not. Maybe it's fell to the very bottom and I cut it off. Another strategy RPG I bought that I don't like is Codename Steam. I bought this game for like $5, and it's not very good. It's got Abraham Lincoln in it.
Wait, is the like on the front, is the Nintendo 3DS part like on the right side? Is that the case for all of the DS games?
I think so.
I was thinking that earlier, but I didn't say anything because then I noticed that it was meant to be like.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, but that's on all of these.
Yeah, I never had a
They've got to
DS.
change
so
it up. It's got to be edgy some way. So just throw the
Oh, yeah,
logo on the
true.
right side instead.
Join the forces of Codename Steam. Strike Team Eliminating Alien Menace. That's what Steam stands for. And harness the power of Steam to outmaneuver, outflank, and outfight your enemies. And it's like this weird, like, ultra-patriotic steampunk Abraham Lincoln strategy RPG.
Weird.
So, yeah, and that's what I said. And, of course, what's the next thing I do when I look at a game and I say, oh, that's weird? What do?
Buy it.
I buy it. Then I bought
You're
it.
exactly like me.
I bought it, took it home, and I was like, oh, this is the shitty kind of weird. Oops. Anyway, not shitty at all is this game that I just finished recently and I loved the shit out of. Metroid Samus Returns. This is the reason I'm playing through a bunch of Metroid games right now. Is Samus Returns, the 3DS Metroidvania, like the more 2D, like actual Metroidvania style game, which I don't even have in here because it's literally in my 3DS still. This is made by Mercury Steam, which is the devs that made Dread, which great decision because they made this game, and Nintendo or whoever makes the decisions was like, hey, you get to make the Switch game too. And yeah, I get it because I played this game. It's got some weird graphical, like frame rate issues here and there, and I think it's because this was like one of the first second party games that came out on the 3DS, and they probably were pushing things a little too much, but doesn't matter.
It's also funny because like
game's sick.
Metroid is like a series that Nintendo doesn't really like.
Yeah.
Like some people there at least. So there's like, oh yeah, let's just make this like let's get this Spanish company to make that game. Whatever, we don't want to make it, and it's like, oh, they did a really good job.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Samus Returns slaps real hard, and I wasn't as interested in playing Dread, but for some reason I bought Samus Returns and decided to play it because I saw it at a store. I paid $40 for it, which is kind of a decent amount for a 3DS game, but you don't see this game very often, so I jumped on it when I saw it and played it, and oh yeah, this game's so good. So now I'm really
I
excited
wish they
about
put it on
Dread.
Switch.
Yeah, it would be good to have this game on Switch. But this is
What is it on the list? Did you say?
This is just a second. You threw me off. I was like, what was
I wasn't sure if you said it or not.
I was just looking at the list, but I was going to say one more thing about this game real quick. This is a remake of the second Metroid game, which is called Return of Samus, the Game Boy the Game Boy game, and then Samus Returns is the remake. It is number 21, so I think pretty highly of this game. It's a very good game. It's in between Binding of Isaac and FF7 Remake, just to give you an idea. So that's it for my 3DS games. I have some digital 3DS games, but I don't think I have any of them on my list because I played Pokemon X, but I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I think I only have one Pokemon game on my list, traditional Pokemon game on my list at least. Mario and Luigi, I forget what it's called, the one where you go into Luigi's dreams. It sounds weird, but it is weird.
I don't know anything about those games.
I don't think I have. I think I have the Ace Attorney games, but I haven't played them yet. I don't think I have too many other. Oh, I played Link. Oh, Link Between Worlds. I definitely have Link Between Worlds on here. 3DS. Where's Link Between Worlds? Number 61. Ocarina of Time. Yeah, that's it. I just need to mention Link Between Worlds. So yeah, that's it. 3DS games. Like I said, this is pretty short. And now the Switch games. I only have a few. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 physical. Well, 11 physical Switch games because I let one of my bosses borrow one of them, which is Final Fantasy.
I have 0.
Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. My boss is borrowing that, so that's you won't see that. And I need to make a list of all the games that I've let one of my friends borrow on PS4 because I'm missing about 6 PS4 games. So. Oh, 7, because Ghost of Tsushima was inside the PS4 that I gave to that friend's friend, and I want that back. So I was like, oh crap, can you tell him to give me Ghost of... He can play it, but then give it back to me, because I like Ghost of Tsushima. We'll start with these two. We've talked about every other game in this series, it feels like. I've got Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Oh, I should probably start with... Let's move back even more. I should actually start with this one. I was talking about the Wii version earlier, so this is why I'm never going to play the Wii version. It's because I have the Switch version of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I started this game and I need to get back to it. Started a few months ago and then just kind of dropped it. But I've heard this is like the best out of the 3. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I have played this game, love this game. It leans a little too far into like anime tropey things for certain people to like, but it's got excellent music. The combat's pretty fun. Just in general, pretty fun game. It's a nice 60-hour experience. But, yeah. Should I lick the cart? No?
Yeah.
Probably have already
You
licked
might
it.
die.
And then I have the expansion. I don't know if you call this an expansion. I guess you would. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country. This is a prequel, I want to say this is like 1,000 years before Xenoblade Chronicles 2. All new prequel story. This game's like maybe 20 hours instead of 60. This is also a really good game. Big fan of it. I have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna at 50 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at 52. So, pretty close to one another. Big fan of Xenoblade games. Still don't have 3. I might get that for Christmas. So that's the Switch games. Of the Xenoblade, sorry. We still have a few more Switch games. This game disappointed me a little bit. I played it for maybe 6 or so hours, and I just was not feeling it at all, and just dumped it. Bravely Default 2. I played Bravely Default on Switch and liked it a bit. Not enough, or on a 3DS rather. That's another 3DS game, Bravely Default 2, but I didn't put it on my list. It's not that great of a game. There's some folks that really like Bravely Default, but I gave 2 a try. It's very similar like the older Final Fantasy games. It's got crystals and a job system and all that kind of stuff. Very high fantasy sort of deal. But I bounced off of it after about 10 hours and said, nah, I'm good. Maybe one day I'll play it again, but probably not. Bravely Default 2. This banger. This is the first game I'm going to play next year. I have it on in my brain, on my list. I'm going to kick off January of 2023 with Metroid Dread. We just got done talking about Samus Returns. I just cannot expect... I can't imagine that... like, this has to be a game I'm going to love. So, let's start January with a game that is going to go hard. So we'll do that.
That's great.
We'll do Metroid Dread. I got 2 games I have to play at the end of this year, and that's the new Crisis Core game and Sports Story. But I should be able to get those done before January 1st so I can play Metroid Dread. Because I'm going to no-life Crisis Core. I know that. I don't even know when Sports Story is going to come out. They just shadow dropped it, or shadow announced, or whatever you want to call it. Like, it wasn't even that much of an announcement. It was just like a tweet that I saw. It was like, hey, we haven't talked about Sports Story in 13 months. Here, it's going to come out next month. It's like, what? And I'm a big fan of the original Golf Story on Switch, so I'm very excited about that. Octopath Traveler. This game has the same, like, Amano, or whatever you want to call it, art style as Bravely Default 2. And, like, Live Alive, Triangle Strategy, they all have that same art style, but this game I'm a huge fan of. This game is an awesome speedrun game. Unfortunately, the PC version's now the fast version to use for this game. But Octopath Traveler is a very fun, smooth, satisfying RPG speedrun. You've got this 8-character party, which is why it's called Octopath Traveler. Each character has like 4 sub-stories that you complete like their story in the greater story. And then once you complete all 8 character stories, they all tie together, and you have like the big boss fight at the end, which is absurdly hard. but doing just like the single character story speedruns is like was at least back in 2018 was like a really popular thing to do for a while, because each of these individual character speedruns, depending on the characters, anywhere from like 45 minutes to like an hour and 10 minutes. So it's like a really good time for like anyone to do a speedrun. And then like the whole game speedrun's like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours.
The only person I know that runs that is Exonerous.
Oh yeah, I do remember seeing him on the list. I've done runs of the Tressa story, which is considered, I think, is still the fastest category, and it's the funnest in my opinion. But yeah, this game's a great speed game, and the game has absolutely amazing music. Awesome, amazing, exceptional music. Darksiders Genesis. This is so. What was I gonna say? Darksiders games, like each one has like a unique sort of gameplay, whatever going on with it. They're not all like a Souls-like, or they're not all like a Zelda-like. I don't know what to really say about the first Darksiders game, because I haven't played much of it. But the second one is like a Zelda clone, if you want to call it a clone. Like it's very similar to like Ocarina of Time. Something scare you, buddy? I think something scared Remy. The third one, as I've talked about before, is a Souls-like, and then Darksiders Genesis is like a multiplayer twin-stick shooter where you can play as Strife, which is the character on the top, and then War, who's the guy with the giant sword on the bottom. I kind of want to play this with someone else. I've talked to Ascari about us co-oping it at some point. I don't know that that's ever going to happen because I'm not that dedicated.
I didn't even know that this game existed.
Yeah, this one kind of came out after 3, and I don't feel like it got much publicity.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun.
Only on Switch?
It is not only on Switch. It's on multiple consoles.
Oh.
It's on PC, PS4, and Switch for certain. I don't know about like Xbox One. But it's like a top-down twin-stick shooter, sort of. At least that's what I would say. I like that the Darksiders games are all very different from one another. Like, that's kind of a bold thing to do if they're all the same devs, especially. But maybe they're not. This is an Airship Syndicate game, so published by THQ Nordic. I'm pretty sure Airship Syndicate didn't do the other games. But yeah, I played a little bit of it, but I feel like that's a game that's better played multiplayer than single player. Once you kind of play it for a little bit, you're like, this could be cooler if it was with another person. We'll do this one next. This one's the very rare strategy RPG that's in my top 10. Like, this game is extremely good, especially like story-wise. Fire Emblem Three Houses is like the strategy RPG. If you wanted to convince yourself that you like strategy RPGs, this would be the game I would suggest you play if you wanted to play, like, in my opinion, the best strategy RPG in existence. I don't know what else to say about this. It's got great characters, good story. It's everything about it's fantastic. I have Three Houses at number 10. This is my 10th favorite game of all time, and it's a strategy RPG. Love Three Houses. Are you okay, buddy? We got 2 more games. Link's Awakening. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is the remake of the Game Boy Color Link's Awakening and Link's Awakening DX. I know that this game was like moderately controversial when it like was first announced because the art style was kind of weird. It had this like waxy sort of toy-like aesthetic to it. But I think once you play it and when you understand sort of what the story is of Link's Awakening, I feel like it kind of makes sense that it has this like kind of weird, funny, toy, waxy aesthetic going on.
Didn't people complain about the aesthetic and the look of Wind Waker as well before that came out?
Yeah,
that's also a thing.
It's like that's kind of what people do is they're like, oh, it doesn't look like Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess.
But if you like the older 2D Zelda games like Link to the Past and whatnot, then Link's Awakening is probably for you because it's a very good game. I wouldn't put it on the same level as Link to the Past, but it's very bizarre. Like I think this was made like in the devs like off time at Nintendo, or at least the original game was, and they said their inspiration. I feel like I read an interview somewhere where their inspiration was Twin Peaks. So, you know.
That's weird.
Which it is like a very weird, dreamlike, kind of bizarre. Things are normal, but they don't feel normal. You know, kind of like Control, kind of like Alan Wake. They all have that they have that kind of vibe about them. And I feel like if you bend your brain enough, you can kind of see it in Link's Awakening as well, where everyone's acting normal, but not actually normal, sort of thing going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last physical game that I have, again, I said I had 12, but I don't have 12 like on me. Is a game the last Switch game I just played. This is a 2-game collection. I got this from Play Asia. This is only available. I think it's only available in like. It's definitely not available in the US. That's all I'll say. I don't know where all it's available. But this is the No More Heroes 1 and 2 like combo pack. You can clearly tell it's not a US game. But it has English language, so I'm not worried about it. But I just finished playing No More Heroes 1. This is another Suda51 Grasshopper Manufacture game. This is like the Suda51 series, No More Heroes. You know, we've talked about Shadows of the Damned and Michigan Report from Hell, but this is like the quintessential Suda51 experience. No More Heroes is like maybe a 9-hour-long game, but it's one of my favorite games of all time. I have it at number 12. Like, this is the perfect kind of just like weird, absurd bullshit that is like perfect for me. No More Heroes.
Didn't this get like somewhat remastered on Steam recently?
It's
or like a re-release, or was it something else? I know it was No More Heroes something.
I know that No More Heroes 3 just came out, and that there's a Steam version of that. I don't know about 2 and 1. I couldn't tell you. You could be right about that though. And I know that
I have no idea.
And I know that they re-released No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2 for Switch, and I think it's also on PS4, so it would make sense if it were on Steam. Because these are originally these are originally Wii games. But yeah, No More Heroes, awesome game. If you just like weird stories with just the bizarre humor, and it's over the top gore, and the voice acting and the writing in the game is like just super weird. Like, it's a Suda51 game, like Michigan Report from Hell. You know, we talked about all those games. Like, this is an actually like unironically really good game, though. I think, you know, you could argue that Michigan is not a terribly good game.
Michigan is fantastic.
Well, you know what I mean. It's not Michigan. It's not for everyone.
Actually play it instead of getting all the reporters killed. It's actually really good. Like, there's one scene where you go into this store and you look, so you can see through this door hole, like this door gap. You know, door's open. You can see through again.
Mm-hmm.
If you walk past it, there's nothing there. I think when you come back, if you look in, you can actually see like a person standing at the back with like white eyes and dark hair, and it's really fucking creepy. Unironically creepy.
So, Matt, what do you know about No More Heroes?
Nothing.
So you're this guy right here, Travis Touchdown. That's his name. He's voiced by, I think, Robin Atkin Downs, who is
Oh really?
He is yeah. I mean,
he does Sean in Saboteur.
He's a million different people, I think. I mean, I always confuse Robin Atkin Downs and Quentin Flynn, who are both Metal Gear Solid voice actors, but I think this is Robin, the guy that voices Kaz in Metal Gear Solid in Peace Walker. He voices Kazuhiro Miller. He voices Travis Touchdown.
Well, Quentin Flynn voices
Raiden. Yeah, Raiden. Yeah, Raiden. I don't know why I said Raiden.
Raiden, whatever. Same.
Mortal Kombat.
Raiden's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. But Travis Touchdown is like this weird slob dude that like really loves anime and pro wrestling, and for some reason he kills someone with a lightsaber, and then he gets told, hey, if you kill the 10 more people in this group of assassins, then you become the #1 assassin in the world, and you'll be like the most badass guy ever, and you'll get to sleep with all the hot chicks or whatever. And he's like, hell yeah! And then that's basically all you do for the whole series. Is like, it's just like, it's the same gameplay loop of like, oh, well, you have to raise money to pay us as the entry fee to go fight assassin number 10 on the world ranking of assassins. Well, I guess you can go mow some yards. So for like 30 minutes, you'll go just literally mow some yards to make enough money. And then you do this like mundane task to earn some money. Go pick up these coconuts, just like the weirdest shit. And then it's like, all right, now go get in this absolutely batshit insane, over the top anime fight with, insert the most absurd characters in the world, and then it's back to like, all right, go pick up some more coconuts. And there's something really funny about doing like literally mowing a yard to make some money, and then this just like absolutely insane fight that comes right after it. And that's all it is. It's 9 hours of do this weird mundane thing, go fight, do this absolutely insane fight, and it's just, I don't know, it tickles my brain in like a perfect way. Anyway, that's my number 12.
I might have to buy the Steam version then and try it.
It's my number 12 game of all time. And it's really cool because you fight with a lightsaber, and your lightsaber has like energy, and it runs out of energy, and this game is built for the Wii, because you're supposed to like recover the energy on your lightsaber as you're fighting, and obviously you're exposing yourself to like getting hit as you're trying to recharge your lightsaber, but it works for the Wiimote because in order to recharge your lightsaber, you're supposed to press I forget whatever button it is on your Wii, and then do this motion. and Travis Touchdown like leans over when you're doing it, and he just does that to recharge his lightsaber. So it's got that kind of humor going on.
Maybe I'll have to get the Wii version instead then for the full experience.
Which, had I played it with Joy-Cons, I think it would have. I played it with in handheld mode, so I think you just hold it and flick the thumbstick up and down. But I think if you had the Joy-Cons, you could also, obviously you can do that as well with the Joy-Cons. So, and I just started No More Heroes 2 a few weeks ago, but I was Runs to the Rescue, kind of put that on the table for a minute, but I want to return to it. Hey, buddy. I'm so scared. So that's it. Yeah, number 12. I think I have some digital Switch game. Oh yeah, I do have some digital Switch games that'll be on here. Super Mario Odyssey is definitely going to be on here. Mario Odyssey is my number 26 game. What else do I have? That's probably it, I would guess. FF12 is my number 62 game. Golf Story, we were just talking about Sports Story. Golf Story is my number 66 game. That's, other than Limited Run, that's only a digital game. Oh yes, I got so many games. Cadence of Hyrule, which is the Crypt of the Necrodancer game, but it's a Zelda. It's the Zelda version of Crypt of the Necrodancer. That game is awesome. That game has amazing music. That's my number 96 game. Untitled Goose Game. Holy crap, I'm forgetting about all these digital games I've got. Untitled Goose Game, I've done speedruns of that. Famously at DreamHack Atlanta 2019, wearing a goose hat. That's my number 104 game. Diablo 3. I forgot I played Diablo 3 on Switch. That's my number 124 game of all time. A lot of Switch games. That's it. That's the handheld plus Switch, depending on whether you want to call that a handheld or not, collection. That's part 4. We have one more left, which is probably the highest concentration of bangers that I'm going to have on my list, which are my PS4 and PS5 games. And then I'll also add Wii U, but a ton of PS4 and PS5 games are going to be on the list. Mainly PS4.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, handhelds. Good gaming. Any comments? Y'all are big handheld gamers, I can tell.
Yeah.
I like my PSP, but that's it.
Yeah, I wish I had played more, and like the Vita, like I wish I had a Vita, because then obviously I could have played Golden Abyss.
Oh yeah, Golden Abyss.
Yeah, and I know that Vita folks really love. A lot of folks are big into Vita if they're big into visual novels. Folks love their visual novels on the Vita. I feel like when I would go to GameStop, I'd just see a bunch of visual novels, which is probably why I didn't end up getting a Vita, because I don't hate visual novels, but I'm not a visual.
To be fair, there's
novel
not that many games on the Vita.
And I think a lot of games that are on the Vita are also just on the PS4 too. Like, I can't think of too many games that are only on the Vita.
Well, the best exclusive is Silent Hill Book of Memories.
I don't know that I've even heard of that. I know about a lot of those weird Silent Hill games, but I don't think I've...
It's like
The Shattered Memories, I've heard of that.
Well, it's not. It's called Silent Hill, but it's not really Silent Hill. It's like, how do you describe it? It's like a top-down, isometric game where you just go through like dungeons and fight things.
Oh, so like a dungeon crawler?
I guess, yeah. But obviously the dungeons are like the bad side of Silent Hill, pretty much. That's where they're set.
Gotcha. I'm wondering if some storms have already. No, I don't think so. It's later. Ugh. Bad tonight. Anyway. So yeah. Never had a Vita. Game Boy Advance is long gone. Metroid Fusion was one of my favorite games on the Game Boy Advance, though, if anyone cared to know.
You also don't have an N-Gage, which is devastating as well.
Or a Game Gear. Don't have a Game Gear. I don't know one game on the... Well, there's like a Sonic game on the Game Gear. It's like the only Game Gear game I can tell you about. I do have a Virtual
I want
Boy.
an N-Gage.
I don't know that you would call a Virtual Boy a handheld console, though. It's like an eye-held.
It's a tabletop.
Trash console. God, one of the worst consoles. No, I'm not even one of the worst. It is the worst. Like, I'll give me the Philips CDI before you give me the Virtual Boy. Like, I'll play the.
I bet I could find something.
I'll play the Soulja Boy console before I play the Virtual Boy.
Ouya?
I'll take the Ouya.
I don't even know what's on the Ouya.
There's
Google
one.
Stadia.
There was. I'll take. I mean, granted, it doesn't actually exist anymore, and it's kind of a. That's a digital platform, so I guess I'm kind of screwed with the Stadia. But yeah, fine. I'll do Stadia. You win.
You'd rather have something that doesn't exist that you can't even play anymore than the Virtual Boy.
No, I'm saying I'll take the Virtual Boy because it doesn't exist.
Oh.
It literally doesn't exist. Like that's like the what's the SNES thing, the Satellaview or whatever, like that. You had to have an internet connection to play Satellaview games, or whatever. Not an internet connection, but you had to have like that satellite, whatever mess going on with the Satellaview. So you literally can't play Satellaview games anymore.
Yeah, they were like streamed to your console.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all. Those are the part 5 is all that's left. We've made it through a lot.
Yeah,
One
sure
more.
did.
I'm such a good YouTuber. Click the bell.
The next video we can say
Like,
final
comment,
level.
and subscribe.
Oh, we can't say final level. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
Smash the like button.
And click the URL at the top and text it to your friends and say, watch,
Hit the bell.
watch this. I'm also on TikTok at Twan Man. The second A is a 4. I think. Hold on. I don't actually know. Just look.
It's Twan Maforan.
Maforan. I have like 8 TikToks and they're all really bad, but maybe you'll laugh. Okay. Goodbye, bye everyone.
Uh,
Bye.